Hello and welcome back to Living Not Existing. As always, I'm Josh, and well, another van video today. And well, I'll be honest, I'm actually already covered in oil because I've actually already done the job and realised I actually never opened up. So I thought I'd better quickly open up the video really and tell you what's going to be happening. So today's video is carrying on with my T4 and getting the engine sorted and getting the head off. So that's involving setting all the timing and then taking the belts off and taking the head off, really. So yeah, like I say, I've already done it, so I might as well jump straight in and show you it. And well, bit of an ironic sign really behind me as well for the video, so yeah. But anyway, I might as well show you what I've done, so I'll jump in and show you that now. Right, so here we are. So this is where it was last time, but just a little bit further on. I've just been doing a little bit there with the help of the expertise of my dad, and that was just getting all the timing in the right place and getting it all locked off, so so that I can actually take the belts off, which then means that I can then take the head off, because that's the next step basically. So what I've done in order to get it so it's at that point and so having the timing all in the right place is, if you can see down there in that little hole just there, there's a white mark, and there's also, if you can sort of see it, there's like a little tooth hanging down off of the actual casing. Now they need to line up, and that's showing your top dead center mark on your flywheel there. Then the next thing for the top dead center of the engine, because that's the position you need to have it in, just a little telltale sign, is these valve areas here. So just showing that it doesn't have, it's not actually in contact with either of the valves, showing that it's yet again at top dead center. And then the next thing, which you have to do, which of locking off wise, is, as you can see, I've just put a little 6mm drill bit in there, and if you can see around the corner there, it's locking off the injection pump. So that's now all locked off, as well as putting a little bit of Tipex there as an extra marker for it on the belt and onto the casing. The same with the top there, and also down there as well, just making sure that everything is all marked up as much as possible. So that's all that there in that position. And the next thing you would do is you can actually get a special little tool, which is just like a 4mm piece of flat bar basically, that sort of goes in that little slot there and sort of just locks off the cam. But because everything's all marked up as it is and locked off the way it is and everything like that, it's not a major stress to lock that off. So I'm just going to be leaving that because it's basically all okay, and the expert mechanical skills of me dad said it's fine to leave it like that. So that's what's happening. So the next thing that I'm going to do now, in order to get it all sorted for getting these belts off, is I'm going to have to take the under tray off so that I can get into these pulleys down here and be able to get these belts off. So that's what I'm going to do now, and then once I've got the belts off, I'll show you the next bit. Right, so I've now managed to get all the belts off, and yet again with the help me dad for getting the main belt off and stuff like that, which is a bit of a chew on. I've also just got the cam pulley off, and in order to do so I actually had to make just a little, not good, there we go, just a little bracket just to hold everything in place for obviously loosening the bolt that was in the end of the cam pulley. So yeah, it was fairly straightforward-ish really, just taking all sorts of different pulleys off. So I've got the water pump pulley off, and just all sorts basically of what you can see. But yeah, so I've now got that stripped down like that so that it's able to come off. So the next step now to do is to undo these couple of bolts just here and here, which make it so obviously this little tin plate isn't fastened to the head, and then basically just start unbolting the head. Now, rule of thumb type thing is when you're putting a head on, you go from the inside out over. So obviously for this, I'm going to go from the outside in over, gradually just loosening like 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. Just keep loosening until eventually it comes off. So I'll crack on now and get the head off hopefully, and then I'll show you the head when it's off, if all goes well. Right, so I've now managed to finally get the head off. So the main bit of the job is now done. It's finally stripped down. It's all done. So, yeah, absolutely really pleased with that. And it was really simple, to be fair, that last bit there, just to get that off. It was obviously just those couple of bolts that were in that the tin guard just there. And then obviously the bolts that were holding the head down, just gradually took them out. They were easy enough. They weren't really too much of a chew or anything. And then that was it. It lifted off. So a little bit of a wrestle, and it's definitely not a job for anyone with a glass back, because it's a lot heavier than I anticipated. I knew it wouldn't be light, but I didn't expect it to weigh quite as much as it did. So, but of course it has got all the turbo set up and everything on it as well. But yeah, so it's finally off. And but needs a bit further of an inspection as to see how knackered it is, as to whether that block has any cracks in it, which hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully it hasn't cooked the engine that far. And from what I can tell there, I mean, I haven't really got any experience in this, at looking at anything like this, but from what I can tell, it looks okay. But my dad's actually gone now, with the experienced one who knows what he's on about and knows what he's looking for and where, and exactly little telltale signs, because of course with it having coked up bits on it, because of obviously the combustion chambers, you can't fully tell really, or not for me easily anyway. But yeah, so that's obviously the block side of things, which looks all good. And then here's the head, and it's actually got dark now, so I'm trying to do everything by torchlight as well. But yeah, so that's the actual head itself. Now there is some sort of little potentially crack looking marks, but with my lack of experience, I don't know if they're casting marks or whether they're actually cracks. So my dad's actually gone home now. He's not down here anymore. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take the head home now and get it on the workbench at home, and then assess it a bit more. And with the expertise of my dad, who knows exactly what he's on about, I'm going to check with it. He's just going to have a quick look over it for me and see if the head's cracked, and if it's completely knackered and I need a new one, or whether I can get away with a skim and a new gasket and rebuilding it all up. And fingers crossed it's the second of them, because I don't really want to have to get a new head. But I think I hopefully have got one sourced through a friend of mine. Of course, it's always that case, if it's not what you know, it's who you know. So I've hopefully got myself another head sat, like, sort of basically waiting for me if that one's knackered. So I'm going to pack up all the tools now and lock up and everything like that, and get this back home, because I'm freezing down here as well, because I forgot my jumper, so I'm just in a t-shirt, and the temperature certainly has chilled off. And of course there's a big breeze blowing across from that field, which is chilling me to my bone a bit more. So yeah, I'll use the magical time travel of cameras and stuff, and I'll see you at the workbench at home in a second. So yeah, I'll be there. Right, so I've now got the cylinder head on the workbench at home, and my dad's just had a quick little look over it for me, just to see what it's like and everything. And from having a look at it, what I suspected is in fact cracks. So as you can see here and here, all these little sort of fraction marks there and there, the next cylinder there and there, and then same again. This one's actually got two, I think, by the looks of it as well, and another one there again on the head. So I was right in thinking it's been cooked and cooked and cooked and cracked, and basically the cylinder head's knackered. However, on a plus note, I'm actually going to take it to a proper like engineering place that does all like skimming of heads and everything, and I'm going to take it there and have them inspect it, as they might be able to look at it and go, actually it's not cracked that deep, and just skimming the head will actually fix it. However, it could just be a case of it is knackered and I do need a new head. So I'm basically going to have to do that now. So I'm going to do that. And then once I've found out what the score with it is, and whether I'm getting a new one and putting things back together, or whether this gets a skim and then I'm putting it back together, I'll let you know in the next video of the T4 and how things are coming on. And then, yeah. So, so I'll quickly just turn the camera around and say goodbye, really. Well, that's it for today on sorting that thing out. So, as I was just saying, obviously taking it to that engineering place to get it all checked over, and then once I've got it all checked over, like I say, I'll show you the next bit. But that's it for today on the T4, and so next time I'm going to be hopefully putting the engine back together as I've got everything all sorted out, ready for it going back together, because that's kind of the next step, really. So I've got that to do, and then once the engine's back together, I can finally get started on actually doing the conversion of my van, which is the whole idea of doing things with it and everything, and then eventually going away on trips in it. But of course, in order to do all of that, I need to have a working engine. So so that's it for today. So thank you all very much for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit the little bell button, check out the Facebook and Instagram links below, and until next time, I'm Josh, been Living Not Existing. Goodbye.